What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes. Yeet. And I'm back at you with your Monday Night Raw review. And it's the post-Raw after the Royal Rumble. One of the most surprising Royal Rumble victories that I've ever seen since I've been a wrestling fan. And I came up when Vince McMahon won the Royal Rumble, so you know that's really saying a lot. But the show kicks off with main event Jey Uso. And Jey Uso, man, he's been all over the place. He's been doing interviews with Pat McAfee. He had an interview with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. So he's outside, man. He's doing his thing, man. The people are turning up for him. Now, granted, there has been this online discourse. You know, you have people saying whatever they want to say about Jey Uso. He's a Nepo baby. He can't wrestle. He can't do this. He can't do that. And I'm like, that's kind of weird for people to say that. Now, if you don't like Jey Uso for whatever reason, that's fine. But to kind of discredit him as a wrestler, to discredit, you know, all the years he's been putting in work, just because he's the son of Rikishi, just because he's Roman Reigns' cousin. Like, man, this dude still has to show up and go to work, man. He has to still get over with the people. He still has to get over with the crowd. And the people legit connect with Jey Uso. And for whatever reason, if you pay attention to the internet and you feel like, oh man, Jey Uso's not over, you're lying to yourself, because the fact that he was so over with 65,000 people in Indianapolis at the Royal Rumble, the fact that he came out tonight and the crowd's really up for him, they're chanting "You deserve it," they're chanting "Yeet," they're chanting "Uso," and you know, you can tell that this really meant a lot to Jey, because he's trying to get his promo out and he's emotional. He's an emotional guy. He's even crying, right? And like, you can't help but feel for him too, because the dude really does deserve it, man. He's been busting his ass for his entire career. Him, his brother, his whole family, man, they put in the work, they show up, they do their thing. And Jey is literally the example of hard work paying off, right? No matter how you feel about him or not, whether you feel like he only is like only does three moves, he only does super kicks or whatever, you can't deny the fact that Jey Uso is one of the most over superstars in the WWE. He moves merch, the people love him. It is what it is, whether you like it or not. This man is going to WrestleMania. So that leads us to tonight's promo. And before he can really get into what he wants to say, he's interrupted by Gunther. And Gunther's like, listen, big dog, you don't want it with me no more. If you pick me, man, I'm going to put you through hell from now all the way up until WrestleMania. Even at WrestleMania, man, you're going to go through so much pain and suffering and hell messing with me. So your best bet is to pick the dude with a neck tattoo. And you can pretty much tell that it is going to be Jey versus Gunther at WrestleMania. But it is Royal Rumble season, and they got to do that thing where, you know, well, I'm going to make my decision next week or whatever, but I got to go to SmackDown and talk to this champion. Even though we as fans know that Jey's not going to pick Cody. that will be surprising, but it's Jey versus Gunther. I'm calling it. You're calling it. We're all calling it. We all know it's going to be Jey versus Gunther. But speaking of WrestleMania, speaking of the Royal Rumble, we're going to fast forward a little bit to the show, to the Women's Royal Rumble winner, and that is none other than the Queen, the returning Charlotte Flair. And she came out with the pyro, she came out with the graphics, she came out looking like the queen that she is. And Cleveland didn't give a damn. They were booing this poor woman out the building. She was talking about how this past year was like one of the most roughest years for her because of her injury, because of everything she had to overcome. And Cleveland did not care, man. It was crazy. They just kept booing and booing and booing. And Charlotte was like, look, man, if this was last year, this would really get to me. But, you know, I really miss you guys. I really miss the fans. And Cleveland was like, we don't care, boo. So all this was interrupted by Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley just straight up said that, you know, she respects Charlotte Flair, but she doesn't feel like Charlotte Flair respects her. So if Charlotte does pick Rhea, Rhea is going to beat the respect into Charlotte. And Charlotte said, yeah, that's cool, little sis, but I haven't made my decision either, so I'm going to go to NXT on Tuesday, going to SmackDown Friday, and she's going to make her decision eventually. Now, with Charlotte, it's a little bit more tougher because during my Royal Rumble review, I straight up said that it's going to be Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. But this interaction between Charlotte and Rhea, because they were making a lot of points. One person was saying, I beat you at WrestleMania. The other person was saying, well, I beat you at WrestleMania. So this would be a perfect time to set up the rubber match, you know what I'm saying? Or you could have Charlotte challenge Tiffany Stratton, and that could be a thing as well. So I know she's not going after the NXT Championship again, but you gotta weigh out your options, I guess. You gotta weigh out your options. Speaking of options, John Cena this past weekend at the Royal Rumble press conference said, even though he didn't win the Rumble match, he said, look, man, I've been putting in work for over 20 years. I've given this company everything. And I've done what's best for business. And ultimately, what's best for business is me main eventing WrestleMania, me winning a championship. And the only way I can do that now at this point is to enter his last Elimination Chamber match. So John Cena is automatically in the Elimination Chamber match while everyone else has to qualify. Hey, it is what it is. Retirement, I guess. I don't know. But as for the Western Monday Night Raw, the first match was between Penta, Cero Miedo, taking on Ludwig Kaiser. And they kept showing the fact that, Penta eliminated Ludwig from the Royal Rumble. And Ludwig, his total time in the Rumble was like six seconds, and it was like 6 point something seconds. So we didn't have the shortest time in the Rumble, but he got clowned for that anyway. Penta ended up getting the win with the piledriver. And then after the match, he was about to talk to Jackie Redmond when he was attacked by Ludwig Kaiser because Pete Dunne came out, and it's looking like Pete Dunne and Ludwig are gonna team up. And the only thing I could think of was, wow, this will be a perfect opportunity for Rey Fenix to show up. I have no idea when his contract expires. I have no idea how much longer he's going to be in Guantanamo Bay, how much longer he's going to be in AEW. There's no telling. But this will be a perfect way to bring in Penta's brother, Rey Fenix, because he's going to need some backup. But ain't no telling when that's going to happen. So they are planting the seeds for the debut of Rey Fenix, I think. So only time will tell. After this, we had a backstage segment with the Judgment Day. Dominic's talking to Liv Morgan about her Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And Finn Balor posts up like, yo, man, I take a couple weeks off because to get myself together, man, to get myself right, because I had a street fight with Damian Priest. And the Judgment Day is falling apart, man. You're squandering tag team opportunities. JD McDonough got injured in his match with the Viking Raiders last week. What is going on? And Dominic's like, listen, I got Liv a match for a qualifying match, and I got Finn Balor a qualifying match. And Finn's like, oh, okay, cool. But you can kind of tell where this is going. Like, this is going to lead to a further separation of the Judgment Day. I don't know if it's going to be Finn and JD and maybe Carlito, and then you have Dominic and Liv, maybe. I don't know. But the Judgment Day is looking like they are heading for Splitsville because they keep fighting and bickering. And honestly, it isn't as cool as when Rhea and Damian Priest were there. So, yeah. After this, we had a match between the New Day and Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. And this is cool because we haven't seen Dragon Lee since 1997. Man, it's good to see Dragon Lee back on WWE television. So the LWO and New Day are having a match. The New Day finally have a new theme. Their gear was looking pretty cool, and I'm like, I gotta listen to this theme again. But based off what I heard, it sounds pretty solid, man. I gotta hear it again, but I kind of like it. So as this match is going on, Logan Paul shows up because next week him and Rey Mysterio are gonna have an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. So Logan Paul is out there to cause shenanigans. Also, he's from Cleveland, so there's that. And the distraction and shenanigans ended up working because this ended up costing the LW the match, and the New Day actually won. Can you believe it? The New Day actually won a match. They're getting booed out the building. Logan Paul's getting booed out the building. Kofi Kingston has a beard with no mustache, and it just looks weird. So, yeah, I don't like it. But, I guess, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Speaking of the Judgment Days, we had another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber between Io Sky and Liv Morgan. And prior to Io coming out, she was attacked by Liv and Raquel. Her and Rhea Ripley were attacked. So, Io's coming in injured. And I'm thinking, alright, so they're doing this so Io can overcome the odds and qualify for her match. And that wasn't the case because you had Raquel out there causing distraction. Rhea Ripley came out to try to help, but that didn't end up working because she accidentally hit Liv Morgan, which ended up costing Io the match, and Io got disqualified, so Liv Morgan won. And I'm like, man, are you fucking serious? I really wanted Io Sky to win. Now, it would be cool to see both Io and Liv in the match, but I'm like, man, if I had to pick, man, give me Io. Now, I'm not fully upset because most times in these type situations, they have the qualifying match at the end where you have the losers competing like a fatal four-way or whatever to see who gets the last spot. So hopefully Io can, if they do the typical WWE thing, Io will get that last spot, and I'll be happy because I feel like if it's not going to be Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, I feel like it should be Io Sky versus Rhea, man. I feel like that'll be a fire match. Io can get a win back from WrestleMania last year because she lost to Bayley. So, that would be a pretty cool, turnaround for old Io Sky. And she's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. So, yeah. So now we had a backstage segment with the War Machine. Are they called War Raiders, War Machine, Viking Experience? Whatever they are. They had a backstage segment. They're talking about, their tag team titles. And American Made pulls up. Chad Gable was like, listen, you guys are not tag team material. American Made is. And they're like, yeah, whatever, little dude. So then you have Chad Gable talking to American Made. And he said he's going away for a little bit. He's got to find out the secret lost arts of defeating luchadors. So he's going to go into the mountains and train or whatever Chad Gable was going to do. And he said when he comes back, he wants to see gold around American Made's waist, especially Ivy now. So I doubt it's gonna happen. It could, but I doubt it's gonna happen. And people were speculating this might be the way that Malachi Black returns because apparently Malachi or Aleister Black's training school is called Dark Arts or something like that. So we'll see. Something else and somebody else we will see on Monday Night Raw going forward is the phenomenal AJ Styles. He made it through the transfer portal. He was announced that he's going to be the newest member of the Monday Night Raw crew. Braun Breaker pulls up and he's asking Adam Pearce like, yo, man, that's cool and all, but what do you have for me? I want somebody. Anybody. Tell AJ Styles to stay away, but anybody else, give me somebody for the Intercontinental Championship. Which means it's most likely going to be AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. So there is that. But now this leads us to our main event segment. This is something that has been hyped up throughout the show. You had Sami Zayn talking about, qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. He's dapping up and hugging Jey Uso. He's congratulating him. You have CM Punk doing the same thing. He's talking about the Elimination Chamber. And before any of this can happen, we are visited by a visionary, a revolutionary, Seth freaking Rollins dressed up as the Undertaker for some reason. He's coming out looking like the Macho Man with the black hat and the leather jacket and everything. And I'm like, what in the name of Jeepers Creepers is going on? So Seth Rollins is out there being the ultimate hater. He's talking about, how he lost the Royal Rumble, but also how he injured Roman Reigns, and how CM Punk is a loser and how he didn't win the Royal Rumble. And, Seth is talking about how ultimately he is going to qualify and he's going to go to WrestleMania and blah, blah, blah. And then Sami Zayn comes out. And to me, this seemed like Seth Rollins was trying to, manipulate Sami a little bit. Like, he was trying to gaslight him and tell him, look, little bro, CM Punk said that you're not on his level, so you got to beat him. And this is kind of like Seth being a more of a hater, using Sami Zayn to, edge CM Punk out of the way of the Elimination Chamber. And this ultimately led to the match between Sami Zayn and CM Punk. And before the match took place, Seth Rollins and CM Punk fought again. And I'm like, yo, whatever they said that CM Punk did in AEW, I believe it. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this leads us to our main event match. And they're hyping us up on commentary because they kept saying that CM Punk and Sami Zayn have never wrestled. And I'm like, I find that hard to believe because they have to have wrestled in Ring of Honor or PWG, one of those indies. This can't be their first match, but they said it was, so whatever. And for this to be Sami Zayn and CM Punk's first match with each other, it was really good, man. They had good chemistry. Near falls were near falling. Sami Zayn was going for the Luva kick. CM Punk was going for the GTS. CM Punk ultimately got the win, the 1, the 2, the 3. And then after the match, CM Punk went to go shake Sami Zayn's hand. And I was thinking Sami Zayn was about to turn heel. And one thing that kept pissing me off, and a lot of people were off throughout the show, was the fact that neck voice kept glitching. And I'm like, man, if Sami Zayn turns heel and I miss it because of a neck voice glitch, I'm going to be pissed. And ultimately, I did not miss the heel turn. But what ended up happening was Kevin Owens come out of nowhere and attack Sami Zayn, and he hits this fool with a package piledriver. And I'm like, I kind of saw this coming because Kevin didn't want Sami to help him win the World Heavyweight Championship from Cody. And that didn't happen. You know, even though Sami was trying to be a good friend, Kevin Owens lost, and in Kevin's mind, it's all Sami Zayn's fault. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is we are going to get Kevin Owens versus Sami by God Zayn at WrestleMania. It would be cool if it was for the WWE Championship, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with that being said, what did you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Peace. I'm out. Yeet.